Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. The idea of renovating Statehouse has split the country right in the middle. Those who are supporting President Ruto are saying that it is long overdue. It should have been done as early as yesterday. But those who are opposing this move are saying it is time bad. And like always, if I present this case before you, you will not look at the economic nitty-gritties and the value for which we are renovating Statehouse, but we will start arguing based on our political and party affiliations and our tribes. Those who support William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua will say ni sasa hivi, kama sio sasa ni sasa hivi. And those who support Azimio will tell you no, hapa kuna kakitu. And the reason why I'm telling you that this idea is a yes and a no answer is because, one, I understand that this building is now 117 years old. It was built by our colonial masters. It was hosting the governor then. And then time has evolved. And I understand that a committee that was set up and the architects had recommended that the Statehouse condition was in a standard that was not fit for human habitation. And I have a problem with that. I mean, it cannot be that it was in a state that was not fit for human habitation. This is why Uhuru Kenyatta was not a zombie, because we want to present our former president as if he was a zombie. It cannot be that for the 10 years that Uhuru Kenyatta was in power, if the Statehouse was unfit for human habitation, the presidential handlers, the NYS and all these people, do you want to tell me that they allowed our president to stay in a place that was not fit for human habitation? I fail to agree, and politely so. I understand that there might have been some reasons. Maybe it needed a facelift, and William Ruto says that the staff that were working under the interior design turned this into a money minting kind of job, where whenever there was a meeting, then they would hire tents. And so we are told that the president commissioned the construction of a presidential pavilion which can host meetings, some small meetings here and there, which, if this happened the way it is being put, then that is okay. Because in everything that we do, there is always room for improvement. And I agree that facelifting Statehouse is not bad, because this is also a place where our president hosts his counterparts. When visitors come, Statehouse will be our pride. It is the residential place of a president. And as I've always said, a president is always the head of the nation, or others known as the father of the nation. It is only that sometimes presidents behave in a manner that the nation rebel against them. Ndindi Nyoro, who is the head of budget committee, had presented 2.6 billion and 2.9 billion over the increased allocation to Statehouse to finance renovation in the supplementary budget. So this is a plan that William Ruto had immediately he got into Statehouse, and he has even renovated part of it. And I will tell you the reason why there are questions, in as much as we have agreed that if there was need to facelift Statehouse, then so be it. But I will tell you why people are casting aspersion in this exercise. Number one, people have always argued that our president is never in the country. He travels a lot. And so they don't see the need of renovating a house that he rarely uses, and then we are told he's using a lot of money in traveling abroad.
What I intended to do this morning. First of all, the newspaper today tells us that the State House is under renovation, and I'm wondering, where are we renovating State House yet our president is a tourist? He's never there. I mean, we should even be talking about renting out State House, not renovating State House, so that the private person who is going to take over the State House can renovate it and maybe give us some rent. Because why are we renovating State House? Then we are talking about 2 to 3 billion spent on presidential trips. Then we are talking about a president who is all over. As State House is being renovated, he's all over other state lounges where he's staying for now, and he's commissioning and recommissioning projects that were done during Uhuru's time, completed over 90%, and he's now coming to commission. I'm yet to understand, maybe this regime has not told the president the difference between launching and commissioning. Why are you commissioning a 90% done project? Or maybe I like to understand the English terminology nowadays has changed, because yesterday he was in Nyandarua relaunching a project that was launched by the previous years, who is Sisiri Karaoke, in 2021. We are in 2024. You are telling us of a project that was talked about in 2021, done almost halfway. That is what yesterday you are standing on the rooftops to tell us about. And you are spending taxes. And that is where the problem of overtaxation comes.
And even though traveling much is not bad, but the question of the fruits of all these, flights has always come up. Recently, he said that he had negotiated for some jobs with the Google company, about 1,000 youth that was supposed to be absorbed by the Google company, only to come out that it was a scam, because the Google company itself is offloading. They are relieving their staff of their duties. So why should people renovate a house and then the president does not see the need of being in the country? Number two, there is something called priority. Priority is an economic term. Sometimes when you go further, some people call it an opportunity cost. It has got several terms. I'm not an economist, and so there could be other more deeper terms that are used. But priority in an economic sense, as a layman, is something that we practice every other day in our houses. Someone says that, do I buy a casual outfit when I have a child who is going to join Form 1? Which one is my priority? Is it buying uniform for the people who are going, the people who are going back to school or students, or I buy a suit for myself? If I can only buy either, it is then either I choose my suit or uniform. I will choose the uniform. And with that, you know that it's an opportunity cost, and of course it is a priority. Which one do you tackle first? I have got 10,000 shillings. Do I pay school fees or I pay rent? Both of them are very important. Do I talk to the principal of the school to give me time, or I talk to the landlord to give me time? Priority. So the question is coming here. Was it a priority to renovate State House now, noting that Kenyans are grappling with a lot of economic challenges? And if you ask me, the answer is no, it was not a priority. Yes, it is something that should have been in the pipeline, but not now. I mean, William Ruto wants to be here for 5 years. Was it a must? When things are tough on the Kenyans, the taxpayers' shoulders. So the question of priority is coming up, and this government is full of misplaced priorities. And when Kenyans understand that you want to do this, yet we get a lot of news about corruption and wastage, then it pains them even the more. And let me tell you something. This is a place that money is going to be lost. Each and every successive governments have got their grand corruption. In the Moi era, we had the Godenberg scandal. To date, that has not been resolved, where Kamlesh Patni, you know that story. In the Kibaki government, we had the Angloleasing, one that really involved Pete Murungaru with the former United Kingdom High Commissioner to Kenya, Edward Clay, and there was a lot of problem. That was the biggest scandal, which I believe has not been resolved, and I still believe where I sit that the late President Mwai Kibaki and the people around him really messed us up, and they ate that money. In the Uhuru regime, it was the NYS scandal, and at the center of it all was Uhuru. And that is the biggest scandal, which, if you ask me, the people around Uhuru Kenyatta really took a lot of taxpayers' money. I dare say that. Just like in the Kibaki era and the Moi era. Now, in fact, there was that of Aurora and Kimarera, and that one was also linked to William Ruto. In fact, he defended it until yesterday when the case collapsed. But in the, this era, we are going to have many scandals that you will not even know which one is the grand one. There will be several of them. And with this one, I believe that it has just started. The G2G scandal is now swept under the carpet. People have eaten. And you see, it starts by allocation in the supplementary budget, in the budget. Like, did you know that Anne Waiguru was allocated a lot of money during the devolution? She was in the midst of devolution. So when you see Ndindi Nyoro giving supplementary budget to Statehouse, these people, this is the biggest scandal that we are looking at. William Ruto is busy looking for money to campaign within 2027. And these loopholes is really going to give him an opportunity to siphon money. So that, is there any Kenyan, you as an ordinary man, if you are told, we are renovating Statehouse and it is going to cost 2 billion, do you even have the capacity to understand? Or even if you doubt, what will you do? You've been told, and you'll see it being painted. Sometimes you won't even see, because Statehouse is a secret. And you will be told, checks will be sent, and you will be told that the facelifting has taken place. And that is how it will end. And some people will pocket this money. These are the people who keep on defending Ruto's agenda. Whether it is injurious and burdensome to the Kenyan taxpayer, it doesn't matter. As long as it suits them and the president, that is all. So we are going to have several scandals, and this is one of them. And I'm deeply convinced, going by the records, going by the history of our government here, scandals everywhere and wastage, this is an opportunity to steal, if you ask me. The other thing that we are also looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is the idea, being obsessed by this idea of deleting and erasing everything that involved Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto has developed a penchant of ensuring that he changes everything that was either initiated or perpetuated by Uhuru Kenyatta. He wants to facelift Statehouse so that he changes a few things that were there during Uhuru Kenyatta. The seats have been changed, and the interior, which is okay, because the president has got the prerogative of changing the interior and everywhere that suits himself. Even me, I would do that. But you've seen him very much obsessed. Even the cabinets and appointments by Uhuru Kenyatta, he's doing away with them. So he's so much obsessed about this. And I think it is because he doesn't have the leeway of having his portrait in the Kenyan currency. Before William Ruto ends his term, I don't think the Surgoi hustler will retire without his portrait being seen in the Kenyan currency. That is something that he will not accept. In fact, that is why he has developed, this idea of doing things his own way, disobeying the court orders. He wants to work like he suspends the constitution. He wants to have a mark so that one day it will be seen that there ruled a man called William Ruto, and he left his footprints. And that is what exactly he's doing. And so the idea of facelifting Statehouse now is something that I oppose. Yes, it is true we need to, but it should be the pipeline, not now the way it is being rushed. If we use 2 billion to facelift it, another 2 billion for the president to travel, what is that now? We either decide that the president wants to work in Statehouse or is traveling. We must decide to prioritize. We either want to ensure that Kenyans have their place, or we are trying to enrich the high and mighty. And this is why I'm telling you that people are divided in the middle. But if you look at it from the point of view of an economic sense, the time is not now. I believe the time is not now. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. Kindly share with me what you feel about the renovation of Statehouse now. Is it worth it? Should it wait?